Within the falling spirit mountain lie 3 massive mountain ranges, each protected by formidable restrictions. To enter instantly, one must possess 3 wooden tokens. Without them, even a 7-star Do-D might struggle to breach the mysterious barriers. Yet, even with all 3 tokens, entry into the 5-element mountain range isn't guaranteed, as the process is random and might transport you to one of the other 2 mountain ranges. Night descended slowly. After leaving their previous location, Xiao Yan and his group found a secluded spot near the 3 mountain ranges to rest. Since entering required 3 tokens and they only had 2, they had to bide their time. Any updates? Xiao Yan asked as the group of 5 settled down. He and Mu Engying then left to gather information, while the others remained in place. I just heard that, aside from us, there are 5 teams left in the Falling Spirit Mountain, Mu Engying reported. 5? Mu Feng asked, puzzled. So there are 4 other teams besides us? Yes, that's right, she confirmed. Among them, the Dawn Squad is likely in the top 3. The strongest team is composed of the finest members from the Earth Hall, Xiao Yan remarked casually. He and Mu Engying had gathered this intel from teams that no longer had any tokens. I've learned that the Earth Hall's elite team, known as the Earth Squad, consists of 4 members. Wang Chun, who is only a mid-6-star Do-D, is their weakest link. The rest are formidable, 2 are late 6-star Do-Dis, and 1 is a perfect 6-star Do-D, whose strength is unfathomable, Xiao Yan said gravely. That's strong? Mu Feng exchanged a concerned glance with Lu Di. They both hadn't reached the 6-star Do-D level, and they knew they'd only hold Xiao Yan back if they faced that squad. Their strength is just an estimate. It could be even more terrifying, Xiao Yan added, looking at Mu Feng. But we're still missing a token. What should we do? Lu Di asked, aware that the gap between a 5-star Do-D and a 6-star Do-D was immense, especially against opponents who had reached the late 6-star stage. In the top 3 teams, there's also an all-female team. Mu Engying chimed in after a brief hesitation. An all-female team? Mu Feng was surprised. Women were few and far between in both the Earth Hall and Human Hall, not to mention that this female team ranked in the top 3. Yes, but don't underestimate them. Though they're not as strong as the Earth Squad, they're far stronger than the Dawn Squad, Xiao Yan said with a wry smile. Every member of their team is a mid-6-star Do-D, and their leader is at the late 6-star level. 4 mid-6-star Do-Dis? And 1 late 6-star? Mu Feng was stunned. He knew Xiao Yan could handle the late 6-star Do-D, and Mu Engying and Ling Xian could take on a mid-6-star, but 2 others remained, enough to turn the tide of battle. What about the last team? Lu Di asked. The final team is composed of Human Hall's registered disciples, Xiao Yan said with a slow smile. What? Ling Xian, who had been silent, suddenly spoke up, shocked. The teams allowed into Falling Spirit Mountain were known for their exceptional strength, and any team that survived the first round had to be formidable. Yet, this registered disciple team was surprisingly powerful? It's true, Xiao Yan confirmed, seeing Ling Xian's disbelief. In that case, our target should be the female team and the Dawn Squad, Mu Feng concluded, exchanging a glance with Lu Di. I agree, Xiao Yan replied. I fought the Dawn Squad earlier and know their strength. If we encounter them again, we stand a good chance of winning. But I doubt they'll show themselves easily. As for the female team, we don't have enough information, so we may have to lie in wait. Exactly. Rest up for now, and keep your energy concealed. As soon as I spot any of them, we'll move, Xiao Yan ordered. The group murmured their agreement and retreated to a nearby earthen house, a structure Xiao Yan had crafted. Since absorbing the Fireheart Heavenly Rock, Xiao Yan had discovered he'd gained considerable control over earth elements, a skill that likely stemmed from the sacred flame, though its full mysteries still eluded him. Meanwhile, in another part of the forest, 5 women gathered. 1, a dark-clad woman, approached their leader, a full-figured woman with an imposing presence. We're still short 1 token, the woman reported. We've fought many teams recently, but strangely, those damn Earth Squad members always seem to snatch the tokens first. Their fiery-tempered leader, Ling Yun, cursed. Which teams are left now? Ling Yun asked the dark-skinned woman. Captain, only Xiao Yan's team. The team of the Human Hall's registered disciples, the Earth team, and the Dawn Squad remain. The others have already withdrawn from Falling Spirit Mountain, the dark-skinned woman replied slowly. In that case, we'll start by finding the registered disciples of the Human Hall, then head to the Dawn Squad, and as a last resort, seek out Xiao Yan's team, Ling Yun said decisively, organizing the plan in his mind. Captain, why not go after Xiao Yan's team first? The dark-skinned woman asked, puzzled. That team has 2 perfect 5-star do dis, she added. Heh, Xiao Yan was chosen by Elder Zhu. I don't believe that Elder Zhu would hold back any of his strength in training Xiao Yan. In my opinion, Xiao Yan poses the greatest threat, second only to the Earth team, Ling Yun remarked, his eyes flashing with determination. Captain, who exactly is the mysterious figure in the Earth team? The dark-skinned woman, shocked by Ling Yun's high opinion of Xiao Yan, asked with curiosity. That person? She is the one woman in the entire incense pavilion that I respect the most. No one else even comes close, Ling Yun said, a wild battle intent flickering in his eyes as he thought of the mysterious woman who had recently joined the Earth team. Send out my orders, broadcast our location. There's no need to hide anymore. It's time to reveal our position, Ling Yun commanded, a calculated plan slowly forming in his mind. Yes, Captain. The dark-skinned woman immediately understood Ling Yun's intentions, and the 4 members of their team quickly dispersed to spread the information. A day passed quickly. 5 teams remained, the Earth team, which had already used 3 tokens to enter the mountain range, Xiao Yan's team, the registered disciples of the Human Hall, the Dawn Squad, and the female team. What are those women up to? Li Ji, a member of the registered disciples team, muttered. It was clear that the female team's message had already reached Li Ji and his companions. To be honest, the registered disciples team was unexpectedly still in the top 5, despite having 3 weaker members. Their success came from a formation technique that allowed them to barely keep up. Li Ji, what do you think the female team is planning? Asked Li Zi, another member of the team. I doubt they would make bold moves. Their strength isn't enough to place them first, Li Zi continued. It was a surprise that the registered disciples team even made it this far, considering their overall strength. They only had 1 member, Li Zi, who had barely stepped into the 6-star Do D realm, while Li Ji and another member were both at the peak of the 5-star Do D realm. They also had 2 newly promoted 6-star Do Dis, who possessed 6th rank life force, making it just enough to secure a spot in the top 5. Had they encountered stronger teams along the way, they likely would have been eliminated. Let's go and check it out. At this point, it's just the 4 of us left. The other 3 teams already have 2 tokens each. We only have 1, Zillion said with a hint of bitterness in his voice. Even though they had made it to the top 5, their team's strength alone wasn't enough to bridge the gap. Let's go. Maybe we'll run into Xiao Yan's team. If the situation becomes uncontrollable, we might even use it to our advantage, Zillion suggested. The 2 newly promoted 6-star Do D disciples agreed, trusting Zillion's leadership, even though he hadn't reached the 6-star Do D level himself. Captain, where is Xiao Yan's team? Asked Qianzhang of the Dawn Squad, rubbing his eyes as he searched the area. In Qianzhang's memory, he had just been in a fierce battle with Xiao Yan. How had he ended up here? Xiao Yan is incredibly strong, probably not much weaker than the second senior brother of the Earth Hall, Guang Lu admitted reluctantly. Despite his pride, Guang Lu couldn't help but acknowledge Xiao Yan's strength after seeing how their fusion technique of life force, which he had executed with Enli, failed to deal much damage to him. Guang Lu was perplexed by how such a powerful technique could be ineffective against Xiao Yan. What Guang Lu didn't realize was that Xiao Yan had been using a clever trick. If it weren't for the stored Do Qi and the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, Xiao Yan would have had to reveal more of his trump cards. Guang, it's not your fault. Xiao Yan likely has some mysterious power. Enli, Guang Lu's fiancé, reassured him, trying to ease his frustration. Maybe, but he's certainly a formidable opponent, Guang Lu said, his usual arrogance returning. He knew that even if his team didn't place first in this competition, securing second place wouldn't be a problem. Xiao Yan is indeed mysterious. I suspect he's hiding something deeper, Enli said, using her soul power to sense the hidden fluctuations around Xiao Yan. Captain, could it be that? Qianzhang and Qianqiu both started to speak, their voices filled with shock. Yes, after Li and I used our fusion technique of life force, Xiao Yan managed to break free after only a few breaths. I sensed something was wrong at that moment and decided to retreat. Fearing that other teams were secretly watching, Guanglu explained calmly. I see. Qianzhong and the others nodded, understanding Guanglu's cautious approach. All right, keep going. Restore your Doqi properly. We might face many challenges when we enter the three great mountain ranges. Guanglu said as a pill, intricately crafted and brimming with immense power, slowly formed in his hand. The three nodded without hesitation. Though the pill seemed to be of high grade, it was wise to be cautious in Falling Spirit Mountain, where one couldn't easily replenish their inner strength. What is that women's squad up to? Do they think they can take on all three of our teams with just their strength? In their camp, Mu Feng naturally overheard the rumors spread by the women's squad. If they want the tokens, they can come get them at the base of the three great mountain ranges. The few words exuded sheer dominance. I don't think so. The captain of that women's squad is named Ling Yun. She's a powerful late-stage 6-star Do D, but her team members are only mid-stage 6-star Do Dis. If they think they can swallow all three of our teams with just that, it doesn't make sense. Xiao Yan and his group sat around a campfire, slowly discussing. So what's going on? Mu Feng asked, puzzled. Ling Yun? Ling Xian's eyes flickered slightly, as if recalling something. In the Earth Hall, this senior sister Ling Yun held quite a high status. It wasn't just because of her sweet appearance, but also her great strength. Even beyond her power, she was well-liked among the other disciples. However, Ling Xian vividly remembered that senior sister Ling Yun's intelligence was unmatched within Earth Hall. In fact, many of the hall's major decisions had her involvement, and it seemed her suggestions were always adopted. Ling Xian's father often mentioned her. I think this is a trap, Ling Xian chimed in as the discussion heated up. A trap? Xiao Yan and the others were surprised. Ling Yun has been brilliant since childhood, and after joining Earth Hall, even some elders feel inferior to her in wit. I find it hard to believe someone as sharp as her would make such an obvious mistake. So, this is most likely a trap. Ling Xian shared her insight. Seems like she has a good head on her shoulders, Xiao Yan mused with a nod. Despite the trouble Ling Xian caused along the way, she could be useful when it mattered. A trap. I think so too, Mu Yingying added. We're halfway through the team competition, and two teams are still yet to emerge. They might be getting desperate, which is why they're resorting to such a crude plan. Even if we've figured out their plan, we have no choice but to go. I'm sure the other teams have realized this too, Xiao Yan said. Since there's no other option, let's move. Mu Feng said, and the five set off once again. Captain, do you think they'll come? Are we really doing the right thing? At the entrance to the three great mountain ranges, a dark-skinned woman from the women's squad spoke up. I believe even if they know it's a trap, they have no choice but to come. Time waits for no one. The Earth Squad has already entered the 5-element mountain range. If we wait any longer, they might complete the 5-element beast task before we do. Ling Yun gazed into the distance, as if sensing faint ripples in the air. But the other three teams aren't easy to handle. Even if the 5 of us work together, we won't be able to take them on, the dark-skinned woman said, concerned. Don't worry. With Guanglu's arrogant nature, there's no way he'd cooperate with Xiao Yan's team. But that registered disciple squad might join forces with Xiao Yan. In that case, we may have to rely on the Dawn squad. Ling Yun's lips curled into a wicked smile, her plans clearly already in motion. Let's just wait and see. Ling Yun closed her eyes, seemingly unbothered, as the other women settled down as well. Captain, is this the edge of Falling Spirit Mountain? Li Ji asked their squad's leader quietly. Zillion raised his eyebrows slightly. Legend has it that the center of Falling Spirit Mountain holds the 3 great mountain ranges, home to 3 kings. It seems the rumors are true. However, it looks like we need 3 wooden tokens to enter those ranges. Zillion glanced at his team, shaking his head. His instincts told him that the entrances to the 3 great mountain ranges radiated an overwhelming sense of danger. Let's go. We'll have to face it sooner or later. We wouldn't have made it this far without you, Lizzie said with a grin, patting Zillian's shoulder. The 5-member registered disciple squad knew they had already made a name for themselves by entering the top 5, bringing honor to Human Hall. But realistically, trying to compete with the other top teams seemed unlikely. Who's there? As the squad arrived at the junction of the 3 great mountain ranges, they suddenly heard rustling in the towering trees and dense bushes nearby. Heh, I didn't expect such a weak team to make it this far. A wild voice echoed from the treetops. Zillian looked up and saw a fiery woman standing on a branch, her entire body radiating an imposing aura that sent shivers down his spine. Captain Ling Yun of the women's squad? Li Ji exclaimed, his heart sinking. I knew you'd come, but I didn't expect you to be the first team to arrive. Looks like you're aiming for an early elimination. The dark-skinned woman beside Ling Yun slowly emerged, and with her, an overwhelming aura began to build. Damn, this team is terrifyingly strong, Zillian muttered, clenching his teeth slightly. Even just the 2 of them were putting immense pressure on the entire team. You don't need to step in, I can handle this alone, Ling Yun said, noticing her teammates were ready to act. Captain, what should we do now? Li Ji, standing beside Zillian, asked, his battle intent already surging. Meanwhile, hidden under a towering tree, the Dawn squad began to quietly appear. Captain, this women's team is really formidable, especially Ling Yun, Qianzhang said, with a hint of excitement. Though Ling Yun was a woman, her strength had reached the late 6-star Do D level, and Qianzhang dared not underestimate her. After all, he was obsessed with battle. Ling Yun is tough to deal with, even for me, Enli muttered nearby. Though Enli was also a late 6-star Do D, facing Ling Yun in battle made it clear who was superior. It seems that even the squad of registered disciples from the Human Hall can't escape defeat, Guang Lu observed, his perfect 6-star Do D strength easily seeing through Ling Yun's intentions. She planned to single-handedly annihilate the team of registered disciples, delivering a crushing blow to the Human Hall. It looks like we're in for a good show, Tan Xiaoyang remarked indifferently, unconcerned because he had no close ties with Ling Yun. At this point, the atmosphere between Ling Yun and the disciples had become incredibly tense, while Xiao Yan's team was still on their way. Swoosh, swoosh. The flames here seem unusual. No wonder they could kill the twin ghost emperors. At the sight of Xiao Yan and Guang Lu's previous battle, a few traces of flame still lingered, when a figure cloaked in ghostly energy slowly emerged. This figure was Yin Mu, a formidable warrior sent by the Ghost Emperor and Ye to kill Xiao Yan. His strength had reached the mid-7-star Do D level. Judging by the energy waves, he hasn't gone far. Yin Mu whispered to himself, his voice chilling, while eerie laughter echoed from beneath the ghostly aura. Xiao Yan, slow down a bit. Behind him, Mu Yingying called out softly. As soon as she spoke, the 3 others stopped and turned to look at her. What's wrong? Xiao Yan asked, slightly confused by the sudden call to stop. I have a strange feeling. Something terrifying seems to be lurking in the 3 great mountain ranges, Mu Yingying said, her beautiful eyes gazing at the towering peaks that stretched into the sky. Also, I've noticed that the death beasts here seem to lack magic cores. That's not normal, she added. Xiao Yan was surprised. The fact that the death beast had no magic cores was something he had only recently discovered, so he was puzzled as to how Mu Yingying had found out so quickly. How do you know? He asked, a bit taken aback. I discovered it while scouting for information earlier, Mu Yingying replied without hesitation. That's troubling. It might be connected to the secrets hidden within these mountains, Xiao Yan mused. Secrets? Mu Yingying's comment immediately piqued the interest of Mu Feng and the others. I don't know the details, but Falling Spirit Mountain is said to be the battlefield between the Ghost Realm and Mystic Three Heavens, so it must hold many secrets, Xiao Yan explained. Let's not worry about that for now. Our priority is getting the 3rd wooden token and entering the 3 great mountain ranges, Lu Di said as the group made their way toward the mountain's entrance. The final 4 teams were about to converge. Have you figured out your plan? Ling Yun stood on a tree branch, her lips curling into a smile as she stared at Li Ji and his group of 5. In response, a surge of powerful energy burst forth from Li Ji and the others, filling the air with intense pressure. Even though you're strong, Thinking you can pass through me with just this level of strength is nothing short of wishful thinking. With a quick leap, Ling Yun landed directly in front of the five. The dark-skinned woman who had been standing on the tree branch earlier was about to act, but another woman from the team held her back. The captain must have her reasons for doing this. Besides, haven't you noticed the unusual air around here? The woman whispered. You mean? The dark-skinned woman quickly caught on and scanned their surroundings. Shoo! The woman signaled for silence, and nothing more was said. I've long heard that senior sister Ling Yun from the Earth Hall is exceptionally gifted. Seeing her today, I can say the rumors are true, Xiao Yan said, clearly in awe. Standing before the late six-star Do Di, Ling Yun, the sheer pressure radiating from her was undeniable. There truly was a world of difference between a six-star Do Di and a five-star Do Di. Enough with the flattery. Will you hand over the wooden token and leave, or shall I defeat you and take it myself? Ling Yun asked, her lips curling into a slight smile. Arrogant. Li Ji's anger flared. Li Ji. Xiao Yan knew Li Ji's temperament well, so she shouted sharply, and Li Ji quieted down instantly. If that's the case, then let's fight. Xiao Yan's eyes flashed with intense battle intent as she spoke. This was clearly a situation where they knew it was impossible, yet they still chose to fight. Xiao Yan and Li Ji seem a bit clever, but in the face of overwhelming power, that cleverness will likely shrink to an insignificant level, Guanglu said, his voice soft as he stood hidden with the second squad. How long can this team of outer disciples last against Ling Yun? Qianzhong asked, his tone filled with excitement. Clearly, Qianzhong was eager to fight Ling Yun himself, though he hadn't had the chance. Hard to say. This outer disciple team only has 2 early 6-star Do Dis, but ranking in the top 5 of the 10 teams means they're not without strength. That said, Ling Yun is no pushover either. Even for me, dealing with her would take some time, Guanglu said thoughtfully. The battle erupted with a deafening roar. Li Ji was the first to unleash his full strength. Both Li Ji and Li Zi had reached the level of perfect 5-star Do Di, vastly different from the late 5-star Do Di that Xiao Yan had seen earlier. Thanks to Xiao Yan's orders and the items they possessed, even Xiao Yan had been deceived. I'll go first, Li Ji shouted as his halberd radiated dazzling light, releasing a terrifying wave of energy. Impressive momentum, but let's see if it's all for show. Ling Yun faced Li Ji's terrifying strike with complete calm, speaking lightly as if nothing was happening. This guy is getting scarier by the day. Though Li Ji's attack looks terrifying, it likely won't do much to her. A late 6-star Do Di, Xiao Yan murmured, then whispered something to the 2 early 6-star Do Dis by her side. They nodded in response. Swish, swish. Li Ji's attack speed was incredibly fast. In just a moment, he closed the distance between himself and Ling Yun, bringing down his halberd with immense force. Too weak. Ling Yun effortlessly raised her hand, blocking the strike with ease. Huh. Li Ji knew that his perfect 5-star Do Di strength was no match for Ling Yun, so he didn't expect much from this attack. As Li Ji roared, the halberd that had been easily blocked surged forward once more. Too weak. Nothing you do will change the outcome. Ling Yun spoke calmly as a terrifying wave of energy burst forth. Late 6-star Do Di, wielding 7th-rank life force. As soon as that powerful 7th-rank life force emerged, the space around Ling Yun trembled, and in the next instant, Li Ji, still pressing forward, was sent flying by its force. Li Zi. As Li Ji was flung back by Ling Yun's overwhelming aura, he shouted instinctively, I've got this. Li Zi naturally took over the attack, unleashing a prepared strike with terrifying energy toward Ling Yun. The force was like a bowstring drawn to its limit, ready to unleash devastation. Interesting. Ling Yun's eyes flickered slightly. She noticed the coordinated efforts of the 2 early 6-star Do Dis, but her confidence in her own strength kept her from worrying. Facing Li Zi's powerful strike, Ling Yun quickly drew her left hand, sending a vicious wave of life force in response. Hurry! Xiao Yan knew that if they had any hope of defeating Ling Yun, her late 6-star Do Di strength couldn't be underestimated. Boom! Li Zi's attack and Ling Yun's life force collided, causing a massive energy burst that reverberated through the battlefield. It's over. Desolation confinement finger. At that moment, one of the two early 6-star Do discs shouted, unleashing a brilliant light filled with the power of desolation. The energy had a faint resemblance to Xiao Yan's Fireheart Heavenly Rock Sacred Flame, though it lacked its pure heat. These guys actually combined their powers for such a powerful strike, Ling Yun mused, squinting at the two early 6-star Do discs with newfound respect. Boom! Sensing the potential danger, Ling Yun quickly unleashed another surge of life force. In just a few breaths, the combined attack of the two early 6-star Do discs was shattered by Ling Yun. After all, against a late 6-star Do D, they were still too outmatched. Boom! The battle continued, though it was more of a one-sided beating than a real fight. Enough. No more struggling. If you want the wooden token, just take it. We've done our best to make it this far. Zillian sighed, shaking her head. As the team leader, Zillian had to think about the whole team. There was no point in letting her comrades suffer just for personal pride. But Captain, if we give up now, we'll lose our chance to enter the finals. Li Ji protested, clearly unwilling to accept this outcome. You've seen the situation. Continuing is pointless. Zillian insisted, her heart heavy as she watched her teammates get defeated one by one. If you're ready to surrender, just hand over the token, Ling Yun said, her patience wearing thin. At her words, a wooden token slowly appeared in Zillian's hand. The moment it appeared, everyone stopped fighting, all eyes on Zillian. Was Zillian really giving up? That didn't seem like something he would do. Although the strength of these registered disciples was weak, their persistence was something even Ling Yun slightly admired. However, at this moment, Ling Yun couldn't afford to think too much about it. As long as she got the wooden token from these registered disciples, her women's team could enter the 3 great mountain ranges, and then they could fight Xiao Yan and the Dawn Squad. Ling Yun thought to herself as the brilliant life force surged forth from her body once again, preventing Li Ji and the others from making a sudden counterattack. Hand it over, Ling Yun said softly as she approached Zillian and raised her hand. Here, take it, Zillian replied, a faint smile suddenly appearing on his face. Huh. Ling Yun barely registered the lightning-fast shadow flashing beside her before the wooden token Zillian had just set down vanished into thin air. Captain! The sudden turn of events startled the other 4 members of the women's team, who immediately gathered around Ling Yun, cautiously scanning the area. Brother Zillian, handing something over so easily seems rather odd, doesn't it? A hearty laugh echoed from the shadowy figure in the sky. Through the flickering shadow, a ripple of flame slowly emerged. Xiao Yan. He's finally here, murmured the Hidden Dawn Squad, their hearts collectively tightening at the mention of Xiao Yan's name. They knew full well just how powerful Xiao Yan was. Clearly a late-stage 6-star Do D, yet despite having no life force in his body, he single-handedly defeated their entire Dawn Squad. Although their captain, Guanglu, had fled early to avoid a sneak attack, he knew perfectly well that neither his nor Li's life force fusion technique worked on Xiao Yan, which meant they had already lost. Xiao Yan. Qian Zhang, upon seeing the figure he had only recently parted from, immediately radiated an intense battle spirit. Sit back and enjoy the show, Guanglu said knowingly, aware of Qian Zhang's battle-hungry nature. Elsewhere, as the shadow in the sky gradually revealed its true form, the wooden token of Zillian's squad was already tightly held in the figure's hand. So, you're Xiao Yan? Ling Yun's heart skipped a beat as she realized that the fleeting shadow was none other than Xiao Yan, who had snatched the wooden token from right under her nose. Brother Xiao Yan, this wooden token. Getting this far was beyond our expectations, so let's consider this a gift to you, Zillian said with a smile of relief. Old scoundrel, can you be any more shameless? Shouted a petite woman from Ling Yun's squad, unable to hold back her frustration. This token had clearly been handed over because Zillian couldn't defeat their captain. Yet now he was pretending it was a gift? If he really wanted to give it away, why not do so earlier? Why wait until someone was about to snatch it? Enough, Ling Yun snapped, casting a glance at the petite woman behind her, who immediately fell silent, evidently fearful of Ling Yun. Zilian's face flushed red, embarrassed by the woman's outburst. I'll take this, and the rest is up to me, Xiao Yan said, fully aware of the situation. However, on principle, Xiao Yan couldn't just walk away. After all, he was a part of the human hall. Even though the incense pavilion had 3 halls, heaven, earth, and human, Zilian and his group were still registered disciples of the human hall. Then we'll take our leave, Zilian said, knowing a fierce battle was imminent. After exchanging a few pleasantries with Xiao Yan, he and his team vanished. Without the token, they had lost their qualification to enter the 3 great mountain ranges, so Ling Yun's team didn't bother pursuing them. Standing up for others is not always a wise choice, Ling Yun said coldly as she stood on the ground, her eyes gleaming with an icy chill directed straight at Xiao Yan. Now that I have 3 tokens in my possession, I won't waste time playing with you. I'll be on my way, Xiao Yan chuckled, ready to move on. After all, his priority was to enter the 3 great mountain ranges and complete the 5-element beast mission. You think you can just leave? Do you really take me, Ling Yun, for nothing? Ling Yun's voice carried a hint of fury. Though Zilian's squad wasn't particularly strong, they had still worn down some of Ling Yun's strength. In the mysterious falling spirit mountain, any lost strength couldn't be replenished through cultivation techniques and could only be restored with medicinal pills. What irked her the most was that the token, which should have been hers for the taking, was snatched by Xiao Yan at the last moment, making her seethe with anger. Does senior sister Ling Yun have more to teach me? Xiao Yan asked as he descended to the ground, looking at Ling Yun. After all, this was Falling Spirit Mountain, where various restrictions made fleeing pointless. He couldn't get far even if he wanted to. Hand over your token, and I might consider forgiving you, Ling Yun said, her tone unyielding, clearly unshaken by Xiao Yan's formidable strength. In terms of power, Ling Yun believed there were few in the incense pavilion who could surpass her, save for a select few disciples. This had given her a smooth and obstacle-free journey so far, devoid of any real setbacks. But a life without challenges isn't necessarily a good life. By now, my companions should have arrived, Xiao Yan thought, ignoring Ling Yun's words. After all, they weren't children. Who would take her seriously? Earlier, Xiao Yan had rushed ahead, arriving faster than his group thanks to the sacred flame within him. His teammates, however, were a step behind. Our captain is speaking to you. The dark-skinned woman, furious that Xiao Yan was blatantly ignoring Ling Yun, angrily snapped. Let me return those words to you. Xiao Yan finally couldn't tolerate the woman's endless chatter and lightly spoke. In the next instant, a surge of overwhelming imperial flame power enveloped Xiao Yan's body, making him appear like a ruler of flames. What a terrifying aura. From the looks of it, he has likely reached the late 6-star Do D level. Ling Yun, though proud by nature, knew that someone so young, with such strength and connections, relied not just on their appearance but far more on their personal power. Captain, how could Xiao Yan possibly be at the late 6-star Do D level? The 4 women of the squad spoke up simultaneously, their voices filled with disbelief. Heh, Xiao Yan, you run fast, but luckily, we made it in time. Just as Ling Yun and his team were captivated by Xiao Yan's imperial flame power, 4 figures slowly appeared to the side. They stood in formation. Lu Di, Mu Yingying, Mu Feng, and Ling Xian. Now this is going to get interesting,